So I know I gave you kind of like a brief rundown of the playbook that I'm kind of working on, and definitely want you to be a part of it any way that you want to be, and whether that's on the board or mentorship or whatever. We talked about it. But yeah, so I want your advice, like basically just kind of putting together, I've worked with you now for what, 4 years? Not your rookie year, obviously, but I know you were in the league a long time and now have a great, successful post career. And just want to hear your story and maybe kind of give them a rundown of your background first, and then we'll jump into the second part.
Cool. So for me, Rach, I grew up here in Georgia, Clayton County, south of Atlanta. And I was fortunate enough to be able to grow up with my mom and my father. My brother played professional sport. He played in the NBA for 9 years. He's overseas right now. I have a sister who's in the medical field. But when it comes to not just being an athlete, but I think in any direction you want to go in life, whether it's business, whether it's sports, whether it doesn't matter what it is, I think having a solid foundation, having balance and structure really helps people out a lot. Now, I know a lot of people, not everybody grows up in a two-parent household, but I'll tell you one thing, a coach told me a long time ago, I really believe it takes a village to raise a child. I have amazing parents, and I think I have the best parents in the world. Mm-hmm. But I've had other people along the way also. I've had teachers in high school. I've had coaches along the way. I have my coach from high school I still talk to this day, just about every other month. And we just talk about any and everything. And I tell people, just because a parent's not in your life doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing. My pastor said one day in church that maybe that's God telling you that that person doesn't need to be in your life because there may be more trials and tribulations if they were. So it's a different way to look at things. But when you have structure and balance across the board, because one thing I've seen throughout my entire life, not just my career in football, is that people who are always go, and don't give themselves the me time, don't give them the quiet time, don't give themselves 30 minutes here, an hour there, or a day here and there. Those are the people who crash and they have panic attacks. And when you're playing a professional sport, you're always so busy and you're always trying to perfect your craft to the point to where guys don't give their self enough me time. And I'm not saying it has to be multiple days, but there's times where I'll say my 10-year career, I only took one off day off that we had in the NFL.
That's crazy.
But I'll go in and I'll work out. I'll do my thing on my off day. I didn't believe in really off days until after the season. So I would go in and do my work, but the rest of the day will be my time. My time. Me and my wife, we would go to the movies, or I would go to a movie by myself, or I would just try to do things by myself to get my mind away from ball, away from everything else. So when I do get back to it, I'm refreshed and I'm regrouped.
Yeah. And that's so important. You know how much I care about the mental health side and like just being that outlet and just having that. Cause I feel like do you credit that to having 10 years in the league, which most people have maybe 3 or 4 if they're lucky? Like, do you think that's something that specifically stood out to you and that most guys didn't really do in the locker room?
I think so. I'll tell you this, when you play this game for so long, listen, it's an enormous amount of pressure that comes with playing a professional sport. Not even talking about the actually playing on the field part, but you may have family over here trying to grab you. You may have people over here trying to grab you. You may have people trying to ask you, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And one thing guys have to understand is not everybody has your best interests. Mm-hmm. You have to eliminate or build up a wall and rock with your circle, because the moment you go outside of it, things can derail your entire career.
Yeah. Did you ever have that issue early on? Like, how do you know how to trust someone? Because I try to do that. Like, I try to stand out and utilize you guys as like y'all's story. And I know I haven't been there and experienced it, but I want to be able to connect to you guys and be that mentorship that I obviously haven't lived it, but I've gone through it with you guys. Not you as a rookie, but like, it's hard to trust people. I've seen it. That's why I started my company, is to help young guys not get taken advantage of and lose money and look back like, I wish I would have known. So how did you kind of draw those lines and define that difference of who you could trust, who you couldn't trust, and who to listen to and when to say no?
It was basically, I put myself before anything else. And if I had to lose friends to become a better man or become a better man with God, I was okay with doing that. because if I had someone that was around me and wasn't on the same tune as me, or they tried to do certain things that wasn't the right thing, then that let me know right then that they didn't respect what I did and what my career was. So I immediately removed myself from the situation, and I didn't think twice about it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't feel bad for letting go of people who are not there to better your life. I think that's a problem a lot of guys have. They feel bad. Oh man, that's my family. This is this. Listen, sometimes
Something.
your family may take advantage of you the worst.
Mm-hmm. And you got to take care of yourself before you can take care of everyone around you. Because if you're broke, and you're out of league, and no one cares.
A lot of these guys, they're playing in the NFL at a young age, and before they even get on the field, there's so many people trying to grab them. Handle your business first, and then what comes, what you can reciprocate from it, then let that be. Now, granted, everybody comes from different backgrounds, different situations. And there's certain people that people want to take care of. And I have no problem with that. Mm-hmm. But you have to draw the line and lay the line down early on first. Let them know that your job is to focus on what you have to do.
You got to make that money to be able to help other people.
And for you to be a better person, and then you can try to attend to them. Mm-hmm. But guys can't feel bad for wanting to better their lives, because I always looked at it like this. It was only a certain amount of people I would give tickets to a football game. Everybody else had to pay me money for it. Mm-hmm. And
you had to pay.
Listen, exactly. You only get
that. Yeah.
You get two free.
Yep. No one understands that. No one.
And listen, even now to this day, Rachel, if I go to a game, if I don't get my ticket for free, and I ask a player to get me a ticket, you know the first thing I say to him?
How much
I can't. Let me cash app. What's your cash app? Let me cash app you the money for it, because I don't ever want people to think I expect this. Mm-hmm. First of all, if I love you and I want to support you the way that friends are supposed to, you should offer to pay anyway. You shouldn't want it free to begin with, especially if someone has a family.
Yeah.
Take care of.
And I get that side of it. Being an entrepreneur is the same thing. It's hard because it's like I want to help guys teach themselves that process, but it's like, it's been hard to like establish that business versus like that side of it. But how did you define yourself as a business, and like what do you think you like didn't know? Obviously you had great parents and a great support system, but like a lot of these guys go in 18, 19, 20 years old and they become millionaires overnight, and they're like, what the heck happened? What do I do? But what skills, I guess, do you think that you lacked? What did you learn? What do you like wish you would have known beforehand?
I'll tell you something I learned early on in this business, and it's funny because I actually spoke about this today in a piece that I did, was that a lot of these guys they have to understand is that this game doesn't care about your feelings. You can't involve your feelings. You can't let your emotions and your feelings intertwine with business. It's like oil and water. They don't mix. And a lot of people, they mess up their careers because they let their emotions get out of hand and their feelings get involved within this business. Now, when they try to go somewhere else, they don't realize that all 32 teams are close with one another. All these owners are close. All these general managers are close. So they're going to talk. So if you have a bad outing at one spot, you don't think that's going to travel with you somewhere else. Now they're behind the 8 ball, and now the future of their dreams are being shattered because they got emotional. Mm-hmm. They want to bring their feelings into this business, and the earlier guys can learn that, the better they'll be off. And
you're old, so I don't know how relevant social media was when you first started out, but nowadays it's like that's your permanent record.
Listen, this social media. Listen, I love social media because there's a lot of great to it and a lot of great things that you can do with it, but it can also hurt you just as fast as it helps you.
For sure, yeah.
If you don't handle things in the right way. And it's important to have a team around you. You got to have a team around you for different things. Have a team for social media. If you aren't the best person on there, or you know how to, what to send and what not to send, you got to have you have a financial team, have a social media team, have a branding team, all these type of things. So you can be the best you, not just on the field, but off the field. Mm-hmm. And giving back. I tell guys this too. When you're playing in a city, don't go to a restaurant, put your hoodie on, put your earphones in, act like you can't talk to people. Listen, relationships are way more valuable than money.
Your network's your net worth.
Way more valuable than money. And that's one of the things that I realized and I learned playing this game and being in the NFL is like, listen, it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you.
Mm-hmm.
You can say, hey, I know Joe Blow over there, but if Joe Blow doesn't know you really,
Yeah.
what does it even matter? Now, if
Well, and
Joe Blow
you're an extrovert though, so like I feel like it's a little bit easier for you. But what would you recommend to guys? Like, I mean, I don't know how much. Like, I encourage guys to do like the Enneagram test and self reflection, and like it goes back to the mental health side, like really figuring yourself out and what you need when it comes to your off field team and when it comes to your personal life. And how did you figure out that balance? I mean, obviously your wife's awesome, your family's awesome. Like I've been down to your school when you've done your charity events with your brother, like you have all that working together, but obviously you put in the work to get there. So what kind of, was that a self-reflection thing that you got there? Was it your faith? Was it?
I think it was a combination of all of it, Rachel. And then being honest with myself. Guys have to start being honest with themselves. That's where it all starts. If you can't be honest with yourself, how are you going to be honest with everybody else in this world?
True.
You got to be honest with yourself. And I wanted to make myself accessible in multiple facets of life. I never let people call me a football player. I'm a man that plays the game of football because that's not how I want to be categorized.
Yeah.
And when you have that mindset and you move that way, people won't approach you that way. People know when they approach you, they got to approach you in a certain manner, or they're going to be wasting their time because you're not going to sit there and stand for it or even entertain it.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any of that like identity crisis when you stopped playing? Like, I mean, I met you on the sort of the tail end of your career, like when you went from Atlanta to Tennessee, but like, did you have that at all? And like, I mean, some of the most prepared guys, like most people aren't. And then it's just like that huge shift. But even if you're prepared, I feel like it's still, you have to know what you want and who you are to succeed. And obviously you've succeeded, which is rare in the broadcast field. You're all over the place and still tell you I need to be your manager booking all your stuff. But one of these days.
Thanks. Listen, it's funny that you bring that up. So me, I'll tell you this, I tore my ACL in 2009, right? I didn't pout about it. I put up cards around my room to keep me motivated every day. So I said, okay, this is an opportunity for me to get out and branch out and do something else. So you want to know what I did?
What?
I did an internship. I did a job shadowing at the NFL office up at Park Avenue in New York.
Oh, wow.
There's different ways you can maximize your time. I did player development, consumer.
Did you do like the broadcast boot camps and any of that with the PA or no?
I have not.
Really?
Actually, yeah, because every time I was supposed to do it, I do a lot with USA Rugby. The rugby tournaments in Hong Kong are over there during that time. So
yeah, I know you're in Hong Kong like every off season. I used to book all your hotels there.
It's the first year I couldn't go because of the coronavirus. But listen, you got to maximize your time. When I was in my senior year in college, I graduated and I worked in a law firm. I went to school to be a lawyer. So my entire senior year, interned at a law firm. So it's guys you gotta make yourself available. While I was playing every off season, you know what I did? I came home at 92 night a game and I internship at the radio station.
That's crazy. Did you work with Mark Owens?
Yep, a couple times.
Yep, love him. I know him from the Braves.
My first time I did radio was Terry Fox. I got to give a shout out to Terry Fox because he put me on.
That's awesome.
I'm thinking I'm going in just to watch everything and how they do things. And I never forget, it was Rick Kamler from 1990 game at the time in NBA TV and Jamie Dukes. And he was like, hey, go ahead, go in there. I was like, okay. He was like, you're going on radio. I was like, what?
You just rolled with it, I'm sure.
But he had the faith in me and believed in me to just throw me to the fire. And it was the best thing that he could have ever done especially for my media career. And now while I was playing, I was always nice to the media. I always treated people with respect. It didn't matter if it was the people that was cleaning the facility, cooking our food, the ladies up there working in the offices, the men. But I always treat everybody with the utmost respect because you never know when it's going to come back full circle. And it's just all about being a great person and treating people the right way. That's one thing that's missing within our world. People just need to get back to treating people with respect in the correct way.
For sure. Yeah. And that's what sucks. It's like, I mean, I feel like sports is such a platform to like utilize that and bring unity, but now it's just everything's all over the place. But
I want these guys to use this platform to their advantage. Network with people, go out to the community, go out to these schools, People would be surprised how many billionaires want to be around athletes.
That is true. Yeah.
Think about that now.
Yeah.
How many billionaires
You guys aren't that cool, but
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, I mean, you're okay, but no, that's awesome. But yeah, so if you could leave like one little bit of advice, like, and I know you worked with some of the rookies and you're doing some mentorship still, but like, if you could give one piece of advice when they're going through that transition, even when it comes to like before they go there, because like, obviously you said it, everyone's coming at you, whether it's financial advisors, agents, homeboys, family, friends, whatever it is, they're all coming at you, especially now with like NIL and they're going to be able to make money in college. Like it's just going to keep going even younger. So if you could give younger you or now rookies one piece of advice, what would you say?
I would say one thing I'll tell the rookies, when you have these meetings, say you're about to enter the NFL or you're early stages and you're setting up meetings with multiple different people, go in there with the mindset that you want to take notes. You want to learn just as much as other people that are there with you. You can't go into meetings with important people that's going to be working within your life for important situations and not want to take notes and think you're going to remember everything. I met with a shrink. The best way to remember things is write it down.
That is true.
The best way to remember things is write it down.
Yep.
So you have to be diligent in your note taking, whether it's in those situations, whether it's in the meeting room. Take notes on everything, because you can always go back to your notes and tell somebody what they said.
That is so true. I have like tons and tons of notes from everything, but it's like, I mean, even you guys do it on iPads now, but it's, yeah, that's a good little tidbit. Cool. I know you got to jump, but I appreciate it. And I want to jump back on with you at some point and kind of walk you through everything, but I really appreciate it. Tell the fam I said hi.
No problem at all. I love it. So
I know you're the best. My new podcast host when I start it. All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right, Rachel.
Bye.